In a world of clean things and pressurized water, there is only one brand. Dun 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 dun. Troy Bilt. Dun dun dun. I don't know. I'm slap happy now. Limpy camera. What's going on, everybody? So we're back in the garage. Been here all day. I just live here. I should have a cot, but whatever. So my buddy came over, like I mentioned in one of my other videos, and basically he brought me a toy. I don't know what to do with it yet. I don't know where to start with it yet. It's not your typical toy that I would buy or that I would get, but it is useful. So we have here a insert year of your choice, Troy Bilt power washer. It is 2700 psi, so it's a pretty strong little bitch. But just like all things that come to this garage, there's problems with it. Nothing can just work. So we're gonna try to see what's going on with this thing. I am not a small engine mechanic. I am a car mechanic, but you know, mechanics is mechanics, right? I mean, if it, you know, what is it? Suck, bang, blow, or something like that. You know, you got air, you got fuel, you got compression, it'll start. So we're gonna take a look at this. We're gonna see what we can do, and maybe it'll start, maybe it'll run, maybe it'll be a nice little come up. You know, I think it was donated because it didn't work, it was locked up or something. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're going to make sure the motor rotates and that it's making compression. So we'll pull a plug and we'll just do a quick thumb test, make sure that it feels like there's some correct compression, and we'll go from there and see if we can breathe some life into this machine. All right, so step one, I checked the oil and I checked the gas. So my buddy Robbie, him.
What's up?
he put some fresh gas in it, so it probably has like half a gallon or whatever, fresh gas. I pulled the plug, and this is the plug. He says he either put a better plug or a new plug, I don't know. But it looks really clean, it's actually in pretty good shape. So I topped it off with oil because it was a little low on oil. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna have him pull it, and I'm gonna verify that. So the spark plug goes in right here, and it feels like, I know you probably can't see it, but there's a hole right back here. This is where a spark plug goes. And it feels like it's making plenty of compression, but I'm just gonna stick my finger there and have him pull start it, and we should notice some puffs. Oh yeah, all right, that's all I needed. So she puffs pretty good. Oh, God damn it.
You didn't record any of that?
God damn it. Fucking.
Okay, there we go.
All right, so after we verify that we have fuel, we have oil, and we have compression, next thing I know, I'm gonna take the spark plug, I'm gonna hold it close to a piece of metal, I'll have him crank it over just to verify that we have spark. So I don't know if you can see that, we'll do it one more time. So you'll see that there's spark, which is good. If you're looking for this, like blue spark means it's strong, red spark is usually weak, and white or blue is what you want. So you just look at it, see what color it is. As long as you have spark though, you should be able to get it running. So that's the main thing. If you had no spark, we'd have to dive into this further. But let me get the spark plug back into it, and then we'll move forward and see if we can't get this thing to start. All right guys, so we got the spark plug back in. I've looked at it, and this is supposedly a no prime, a no choke, a no whatever, I don't know, easy start. So in theory, there's your air filter and carb setup right there. I shouldn't have to prime any gas. I shouldn't have to choke it or nothing. I'm guessing I turn the on button on, which is located right there, and I pull it until it starts, and it's easy. So it should start. Is it gonna work? Who knows? Let's find out.
Easy starting my ass.
Yeah, right? It's so easy! God, look, vroom, 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 it's working! Alright, so something doesn't seem right. I mean, it's spinning, it's making compression, it's got spark. I'm gonna narrow it down to, I think it's something fuel related. So I have no idea about this carburetor setup. It has no choke, no throttle, no primer, no nothing, so it must be something electrical. So I'm gonna take a look at it and see if I can notice anything. Maybe take off some of these covers here so I can get a better look at the actual carb setup. But I'll bring you back in a sec. All right, so we got the cover off and everything like that, and looking at this, the only thing I see going to the carburetor, which is all right here, is a gravity feed line. Obviously, there's some power lines for the ignition switch, which we know probably works because we have spark, and without this, we probably wouldn't have spark, so that probably works. So it really looks like it probably uses some kind of, honestly, I think it just fills this bottom bowl up with fuel that's gravity fed from the gas tank. So the only thing I can think of is popping this line off right here and seeing if gas comes out of there or if that line is clogged. But before we do that, we can verify that it is a fuel issue. We're just gonna spray some ether into the carburetor, see if we can get some action out of it. If we get some action out of it, we definitely know it's fuel, and we can try to figure out what's going on with the fuel system. So whether that means, we'll probably start by taking that back line off, the gravity line, make sure it's clear and that fuel is able to get to the bowl in the carburetor. And then if that's good, then we'll probably have to pull the carb off and take a look at it. See if we can't figure out what might be fucked up with that. So I'm gonna try to find some ether, and we're gonna see if this bad boy will fire up.
Sponge off and spray it, or just spray it on sponge?
I'll spray it if you won't mind pulling it here in a second. All right, kids, don't do this at home. We are trained professionals in Mexico where there is no laws, no regulation, no OSHA, no health codes, and all that jazz. So don't do as I do, do as you're supposed to do, which is probably not this. Oh yeah, let's do some science. All right, go ahead. Here in Mexico, where there's no laws, regulations, and safety and things to worry about, we know that if you use a flammable liquid and shove it in this engine here, it fires up. So that confirms that this engine is not getting fuel from its standard fuel system. Why? I don't know. Stick around and find out. Alright guys, so we have pulled this line and verified it is not clogged. It actually leaked all this gas and everything like that. So we know that it is clear and it's like a gravity feed system, and it seems to be, the gas came out of the spout here, so it's filling up this bowl, but for some reason it's not spraying out of, I don't know, the jets or whatever. I'm not really a carb guru, but whatever's inside of here, something is wrong and clogged. So we're going to remove the carb. It looks like just these two 10 millimeters. We're going to watch out for this wire. We're going to pull the carb off and then probably take it apart and see if we can't figure out, maybe blow the channels out. There's got to be a clog somewhere that's not allowing gas to go out of the jets into the actual carburetor and basically mix with the air and fire off. Because it runs on starting fluid, we know that and everything. So I'm going to basically rip this carb off and go from there. This is why man invented ratchet wrenches. New invention that hasn't made it to Mexico yet. Maybe if Trump builds this wall, we'll be able to get some good tools in Mexico. Success! We have a carburetor. Alright, so now we're gonna try to watch some YouTube videos and figure out what this contraption does and why it ain't working. I'll be back. Well guys, we have a Troy Bilt power washer. It's 2700 PSI, 27, and it's for sale. So, holla at your boy, come get this thing. I'm not a small engine mechanic, you know, or whatnot, but yeah, you can come get it. It runs. Kind of. It runs kind of. So, I mean, this foreign device here that comes from aliens, that's created on another planet other than Mexico, yeah, I mean, I just don't have the alien technology available to me to fix it. I mean, there's some little passageways and a thingy that's spring-loaded. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It doesn't have an injector, it doesn't have a computer, I don't know what it is. But this thing, I think they call it a carburetor? I think it's carburetor. Yeah, I think that's the problem, but I don't know. We took it apart. The float works. I manually moved it while blowing air and it stopped, so it sealed up. So the float works. The jets are all clear. All the channels are clear. I blew everything through the carburetor with air. It seems to be moving like it should. And now it does kind of start, as you've seen, on its own without the illegal substance that, you know, we used earlier, but it won't stay running. It's kind of weird. It doesn't seem to be, I don't know, just a weird carburetor. It seems to like be soaking up this foam with gas and then it'll run. But I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be. I'm out of my elements here. Like you can see, it's literally like covered in gas. See the gas dripping off there? But yeah, it's like just pouring out of the carb, soaking this full of gas, and then it'll run for a second. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be, but we can't get it to reliably just run regularly. So something still seems wrong, and it is fuel related. We know that. I don't know what to do. I'm just out of my elements here. So we're gonna keep toying with it. We're gonna maybe figure it out. I don't know, but I'll keep you guys updated. All right, guys. So we're at our wit's end. It's kind of cold, but we hooked it up to a hose, thinking maybe even though I can't see it anywhere, there's a water safety shutoff that like it needs water to run or whatnot. But no, same thing. I've come to the conclusion that I do not need to quit my day job to become a small engine repair technician because I can't repair anything. So, yeah, that's it.
That's all it'll do.
That's all it'll do. But like I was saying, I'm going to keep my day job as aircraft mechanic because I can't fix small engines. In all seriousness, I've pretty much diagnosed it that it's got to be the carburetor. It seems to be constantly flooding full of gas, and then it'll start, and then once it burns that gas, it won't deliver more gas, and then when it's off, it floods more gas in. It's really weird. It's not a constant flow. Like, it doesn't start and inject gas into the carburetor. It just pours the gas, and then it'll start. And then when that gas is gone, it shuts off and then fills back up with gas. I don't know, but it's kind of junk. So I'm thinking it needs a carburetor. I've exhausted all avenues of trying to repair this thing. Nothing I do will fix it. So I'm gonna price the carburetor, maybe see if we want to invest into replacing it. It is a nice power washer. It is 2,700 PSI, so it's pretty strong. It's a lot stronger than my 1,500 PSI, so it would be nice to be able to borrow this occasionally. But it's not coming out of my pocket. I'm not buying a carburetor, so that's gonna have to be upon the owner or whatever. Either way, I've done what I can do. So I'm gonna close this video out. Hopefully it helped you out. If you have some trouble with your small engine on your lawnmower or your weed whacker, power washer, maybe you kind of gotten an idea of some things you can check. You know, you want to check for compression, you want to check for spark, you want to check for fuel delivery, and if all else fails, you just sell it to some other chump and see if they can fix it. No, but in all seriousness, at least hopefully, like we did, we narrowed it down to a fuel delivery issue, and these are really simple, so it's pretty much come down to the carburetor is most likely bad. So, you know, hey, we didn't get it running perfectly, we didn't get it operational, but we did kind of diagnose the problem. So I'm going to call that a 50-50 win. So either way, please like, share, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.